Vice Chair, you have a quorum, sir.
And I have a hard one, the clock stops. So,
All right.
so
Well, then let's bust a move.
we have a roll call, right?
Yes, sir. All right. Dr. Felton.
Here.
Brian Ford.
Present.
All right. I know Mayor Garrett, Charlotte Jones, Bobby Lovins are all out. Chief McKee.
Here.
Fred Prime is also excused absence. Pam Schermeyer.
Here.
Dan Sugg.
Here.
You have a quorum, sir.
Excellent.
We will need we did get notification from everyone else that they will not be able to attend, so we do need a motion to excuse those.
All right, I'll give that motion to excuse, Kelly Garrett, Charlotte Jones, and
Bobby Lovins and Fred Prime.
Bobby Lovins and Fred Prime.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right.
Motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda.
Is there a second? Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Now we need a motion to approve minutes of last meeting.
I do want to make one correction, and I'm not entirely sure how we want to do this unless we want to maybe amend the minutes. We did not have Dr. Felton as excused, but I did after our meeting. I heard the voicemail that came before our meeting saying that she was not going to be here. So I guess my recommendation would be that we amend the minutes to reflect that Dr. Felton was also excused.
Motion to amend the minutes to include an excused absence for Dr. Felton.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I
Motion
also propose a motion to approve the minutes as presented and amended. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So that takes us to financial review.
Yeah, and I just did a little blurb of the financial review. Right now, you guys are doing great in your investment interest. In 3 months, you've got $11,000 already. If you guys keep going till the end of the, for the fiscal year, you'll be about $50,000 in interest if our interest rates stay up and keep going like they have been. The Lathrup Village Music Festival donations have not shown up in your revenue yet. They are in a transition. They go into the general fund first because that's all our money goes in there, and then we have to do a due to, due from. So we're going to do a due to DDA, and then I'll move the money from the bank to the DDA account, from the general to the DDA.
And that pays the 20-some hundred
It's gonna
dollars
put
in
you guys-
expenses, and then we net
Well,
300 and some?
whatever all the money that you got from like donations and all the all the cash that came in and everything will be put into your account in the miscellaneous revenue account.
So if I read this right, I'm looking at page 12 of the PDF. Our fund balance is better now than it was at this time last year.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? That's very good considering we spent quite a bit this year on various projects.
Yeah.
Property
And you look
values
at
are up.
22 and 23
Yeah.
because now we're into 24.
Okay.
Is there any other discussion regarding the financial reports?
No, it's 22, 23. Yeah, it's 23.
Do we need a motion to approve them as presented?
We're not in 24 yet. Right? We're not in
Oh, we need a
2024
motion.
yet.
No, we're
I didn't miss a whole
23.
quarter,
We're
did
in
I?
23, 24.
All right.
All right.
I
Motion
believe
to
you guys
receive and file the budget from September.
The financials, yep.
Second? Anybody?
Second.
Yeah, you're right, financials.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Brings us to committee reports.
Britt, do you want to give us a quick report on promotions and ED real quick?
Sure thing. So we've basically been discussing, upcoming events and the things that we could do to promote for those events and ways that we can get the businesses more involved. We've kind of come up with the idea of creating a visual representation of the type of businesses that we have, just because it'll be easier for us to kind of see what the business district consists of, because it's kind of hard to get. We have a lot of medical, we have a lot of different businesses that are, it's just tough to get them involved in the things that we do. So we've been trying to crack the code with that. Other than that, we're preparing for, we have Tri-City Mixer coming up, so we've been discussing that, promoting that, getting businesses involved for that networking event, where we'll be at Dog and Pony November 16th for 2 hours, basically networking, discussing whatever, and having a good time with business owners in Oak Park, Southfield, and Lathrup Village. Obviously, they're all, invited. It's a collaborative effort. So, other than that, we've got Trunk or Treat coming up. We've been discussing having a ton of volunteers for that. So, if you know anyone who has any type of creative spirit and they'd like to decorate their trunk, we need more trunks for that.
How many do we have? Do we have a number yet?
Right now we have 5 trunks locked in. The DDA is obviously going to have a ton of candy, but the more candy, the better. We've received a couple of donations for that. So once again, if you know of any business owners or residents who would like to get involved, they can contact myself or Susie, but I prefer that you reach out to me because that's something that I can address directly. Social media is always a topic that we discuss with our committees. We're trying to do better with that. A couple of the committee members have agreed to being tagged in certain posts so that they can share. Obviously, there are groups on social media that we don't have access to, and I say we, I mean the DDA. So residents, committee members, if we tag people and they share these posts, more people will see them, so they'll have access to the business resources that we're providing and obviously the events that we're trying to put on for the community. Let's see, we've got new faces for some of the committees. We've got Reed Bosky. He's awesome. He's helping with beautification. He's educating me on, different flowers and different things that'll look good in certain areas in the downtown area, so that's going great. Susie actually met with Reed a couple weeks ago, so we'll be moving forward with the beautification as always. Other than that, I think that's everything. We need volunteers. We need help with all of our events, and always reach out to me if you guys have any questions about upcoming events and how you can help. I think I missed anything. Committees.
Did we decide not to do the holiday market this year?
Oh yes,
We did.
we did.
That was, honestly, it was an internal discussion that we had. I mean, we did talk about it with the promotions committee. Yes. Was that just yesterday?
It was yesterday.
All right. So we did talk about that. Unfortunately, and I feel like, you try and you figure out what sticks, what doesn't. And, that was, it was a good event, but not quite good enough. It was a lot of work, and there was very little benefit to the actual commercial district, right? Most, if not all, of our vendors were either local resident makers or makers from outside Lathrup Village, which, it's wonderful. I want to be able to showcase them too, but we have to remember that our focus is on the commercial district, right? And so, the first couple of years we had our bingo, and that was at least getting people out into our businesses. You just can never build up the right momentum for it. So
Yeah, I agree. It's just
and
nice that we tried, but I think
Yeah.
we're just maybe too small a community to attract good enough
Yeah.
artists that would then attract good enough,
Right.
or the volume of
and
shoppers
we can,
that we'd like to see.
right, and
Yeah.
and I think the first year was the best year, right? And then we've steadily, the number of shoppers just steadily declined. It hasn't helped that we've had some really crazy bad weather
Yeah.
for most of those as well. So we're still working to figure out how we can drive business to our businesses, but really take advantage of the shop small. I mean, that's a national thing, right? We
And
still won't.
realistically, the space wasn't conducive of
Right.
the event. I mean, there literally wasn't much room to even walk around in there, so.
Right.
Even if you had a bunch of people show up, it'd be hard, so.
Exactly, and and we can talk about this a little bit more when we get to the music festival recap. But I think that we've nope. You know what? Puns intended. I think we found our jam. So, but like I said, we can get to that.
Yeah.
In a
We
minute.
discussed alternatives for the artisan market. So obviously, if you guys have any of those ideas, shoot them our way. We discussed a business-to-business type event. We haven't concluded what we want to do, but Small Business Saturday is November 25th, and we would like to do something.
I already forgot what I suggested.
You said
You had
that's
two
right. Oh, no, I
ideas. You
remember, I
forgot
remember
both
now.
of
I
them.
remember now, that's right.
So I think that about covers it for committee reports. I'll slide right into my department report here. So we already touched base on, a couple of our upcoming events. We do have our second informational meeting set for Wednesday, November 1st at 12:30. This is a statutory requirement, and so we're gonna have this, and I know that there's been a lot of interest and questions about what is the DDA and what do we do, and so hopefully we'll get some people showing up, and I can tell them all about all the amazing things that we've done. So
Enlighten.
right. So so we are passionately curious, right? So and then we have our holiday party. We'll get to the music festival. We still have we're still moving forward on the businesses. 44 Burrito. Did they get all their? Do you know if their inspections were final?
All their permits were, I don't think everything was paid and put through, but I know that for their signage at least, I think that's where
Okay.
I think all the
Susie,
mechanical and all that.
Bob's not getting picked up on the mics.
I know.
Microphone,
I know.
please.
I'll get.
This
So
one right there.
okay. Well, so they're still working through. They've got all their permits. We're still working
Yeah, I
through
think
getting
the
their
only thing
approvals
that's
and their
outstanding
signs.
is the sign permit.
So just the sign permits outstanding. All right, cool. Thank you. So 44 Burrito, they're still moving forward. They
Do they have a target open date?
do not have a target open date that I'm aware of at the moment. We do have, and actually I should have put this on here. The event house is open. I'm sorry I neglected to have that one on there. I think we mentioned it the last meeting, but they are open. The property just to the south of us will be going through or appearing before Planning Commission in November to get their approvals. They're still working on their mix of uses, but retail service is what they're going for. The shopping center across the street where the current Panera is, they obtained approval in September, and they're going to be doing a refresh. They're doing a facade update. They're going to be reconfiguring the parking lot a little bit to allow for better traffic flow. And I think they're excited to get that project going. I know construction is supposed to start soon, but they've not yet given me a date on when that's going. Panera, the new Panera is, as we can see, going gangbusters. They had a snag a little bit earlier, which kind of slowed them down a little bit, but I actually just talked to the property owner a little while ago, and their anticipated open date for the new store is within the first quarter. So, which is really, really exciting. And we continue to work with them on, what their plans may be for the school. All of our infrastructure projects are done. We are, the engineer and I have already started doing our due diligence for the alleys and approaches for next year, and I am sure that he will be coming before us to kind of walk us through the recommendation for
So-
2024.
So all of the money that we allocated for the alleys have been paid out and it's done?
We do have.
I thought there were some that we were,
We still have, well, yes, we've paid it, but as we've been going through the audit, Pam and I were just talking late yesterday. There is a due to, there's a due from to the city for some of our alley and approach work. Do you remember what that amount was?
Well, it's quite two different amounts, actually. Well,
Okay.
but it's, no, because I've got a bunch of them that are due to. What had happened is they were using the major and local road bond proceeds to do the work, and it was being paid out of that. Now you guys owe the bond proceeds back.
Got it.
So that's where we're
but
moving.
what I'm saying is that's all the money we already approved though.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's the work you're talking about. So anything new would be new this year expense.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. All of our work is done here for right now.
What was our infrastructure spend in '23? Approximately.
23 we had, of course I have that. Hold on. Let me grab this. I had it on a different folder. We spent, sorry, on sidewalks this year. We only did, we had a pretty small sidewalk bill. We had approximately $40,733, and that includes most of 11, a little bit of 12 Mile between like Southfield and Lathrup, and then we picked up spots within Municipal Park over here, and then there was a few miscellaneous flags along Southfield Road that had been missed initially, so we picked those up as well. And then our cost for the alleys and approaches this year was $140,906. So we're doing pretty darn good. And I think we originally estimated, I want to say 184 for alleys and approaches this year. So we did come in a little under budget. So, and the estimate for next year is, I was looking at the spreadsheet this morning actually, and for the alleys and approaches, we're looking at about 250, I think it was. So I can, but again, I'm going to have Scott come and talk to us for the recommendation for 24. For 24's work.
All right.
So, but that's pretty much everything. Oh wait, no, not everything. Big one here. So I already sent the email out, but well, two things. So we did get the DTE tree grant reissued. It is only going to be for work in the DDA district. It's the only money I have influence over, right, and can help make recommendations about. And you know, as Pam has reminded me with her interim city administrator hat, no spending until the audit is over. So so we did get those funds reissued. I have already spoken to. Don't worry, I
function under a different methodology, but
I know. We've got to catch them all up to speed. Hold on. And so we will be working over the winter to refine those quotes as we discussed last month. Refine those quotes and make sure that we are absolutely ready to go, ready to plant. I know you've reached out to your neighbors, so we've got a lot to talk about at the beautification committee. So. And then last but not least, I did send this email out. Main Street, Oakland County, and our consortium of 13 communities we've not selected for the RAP 2.0 funding. So that's for the municipal park renovation. So I do have a meeting with our Oakland County representatives on Halloween to talk about how they are going to get out, how they want to disperse the ARPA funds that they were going to use for our match. How are they going to get this money out to the Main Street communities? That's what it was kind of earmarked for at the county. So figure out what that means for us.
You're saying that there still could be proceeds
Mm-hmm.
coming in for
Absolutely,
that.
there could
Okay.
still be, and I'm cautiously optimistic that we could have like a nice hefty chunk of change. So we'll find out from there, and then there's still opportunities, other grant opportunities out there. There's a T-Mobile grant that we could apply for. I think that's a $50,000 grant, and then I've already reached out to our planning consultants about making sure that we have a really robust application for our DNR trust fund recreation passport grants, and that was the original way that we were going to try and fund this before RAP came up. So all is not lost. The funds that have been raised through Patronicity, the fundraiser is still open. It is still accepting donations. Thank you, Jim. And so I do want to get, once I get some more information from the county, I do want to make sure that we get some messaging out there to say, hey, all's not lost. You know, if you don't mind us, holding on to your money for a little while longer, we're going to keep pushing forward and making this happen. We just might have to scale back a little bit, or, just extend our fundraising period a little bit longer. So, any questions on all of that information?
All good.
Rob, would you like to step up to the mic and give us a rundown of your most amazing code enforcement report? Please, and thank you. Get cozy with the chief.
Yeah, talk show.
Podcast.
Yeah. Just a lot of, and I didn't send out violations for dumpster enclosures. I made up there was a lot of them if you look at the enforcement list. I sent out like a reminder of the ordinance with a picture.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it's supposed to look like. This is what it's not supposed to look, so hopefully that was, better received than a violation. I haven't seen much compliance yet, but I have gotten people called with questions on, how they can correct it. One of the complaints, it was probably the first commercial complaint that I got when I got here, was the DXL, property maintenance, and they've done a great job. They've really turned that lot around. They've cleaned up the medians, where they had some plantings. They got rid of 3 dead trees. They repainted the building, which, had nothing to do with the code enforcement, but it really they've really done a nice job there. So when I drive home every day, it's kind of a feel-good thing where I can look at it and say, at least because there was one resident that kept complaining that she's got to drive by it every day. And but trying to work with, trying to get a hold of some residents. Some property owners are, seem, very easy and responsive, and other ones are, I need to get a detective to try to find them. So.
Awesome, thank you. Any questions for Rob?
No, looks good.
Is that number 34 records for this month, is that typical? Is that
I
about-
think it's probably a little bit higher because I did send out a lot of dumpster letters, but I wanted to document that I sent them out. So if it's not something that's corrected and it continues to be an issue,
Yeah.
at least I can say I sent a letter out, an informative letter. It's I think, and it's the property owners, it's the employee just leaving it open. They go to put trash out there and they don't close them. So, but it's not just one day. It's 2-3 days in a row, or they or there's no gates at all.
All right.
Thanks,
No
Rob.
questions.
Yeah.
Yep. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Old business?
None.
New business?
Oh my gosh, you guys. Almost everybody was there. That music festival was amazing! So Brittany can attest that I was a complete crazy woman leading up, the 3 days leading up to the event. And I was like, she probably was wondering when the invasion of the body snatchers happened, because I was like, I don't have any information. I need stuff. She's like, what do you need? What information? I said, I don't even know. I just need a list. It was amazing. Okay, we had about 24 volunteers that were just incredible. We had a resident, Lauren Barris, who I'm sure would be so not happy with me for even saying her name and like putting her in the spotlight like this, but she's awesome. I mean, she really did a whole lot of work to get the word out, to find volunteers, organize volunteers, and she was the list maker of my dreams, apparently.
Seriously.
She was just the whole thing. I didn't know what to expect other than at least 10 people were going to be there, and I was convinced it was going to be me and 9 other volunteers, and we were going to be twiddling our thumbs and I guess drinking a whole lot of beer.
Well, you had 11 food trucks and a bunch of musicians. You wouldn't have been alone.
Well, but they could have like bailed. I don't know. I was like, I was going down like crazy things, right? So, but that was absolutely not the case. We had an excellent turnout all day long. I asked our officers who were rotating in and out, they're pretty good about their crowd estimates. And we figure we probably had about 500 people filtering in and out throughout the day. I know that we had people parking here, we had people parking up at the school, we had people parking up at the church, we had people parking south of us, we had people parking on the road. I talked to at least a few people that were like, I saw the food trucks and had to figure out what this is, and then they found out like we had Josh White Jr. and David McMurray play, and they were like, oh, I'm gonna come back, like this was amazing. So we had overwhelmingly positive feedback from the event. As I said earlier, I think we found our jam. I really, the group that planned and organized this was outstanding. We had a meeting with them earlier this week to kind of debrief and talk about what was good. Did anybody hear anything bad? Do we want to keep it bigger, the same? Like what's next? And so the enthusiasm is still there. So, and very excitedly, since I didn't know what to expect, I sure was not expecting to make any money. And I am happy to say that we made $341.38. Now, I will put the caveat out there, right? If you look in the budget detail, because I'm sure people will look, if you look in the budget detail, it said we have $2,000 allocated to this, and we had $5,000 allocated to the artisan market. One, that should have been flipped. But since we're not doing the artisan market, I think it makes sense to just consider it all together. But we made money, and I think that
Plus another, what is it, $400 in donations?
yes, plus another
total-
$400 of donations. We had $401 in donations. The tip jar and the ticket booth.
Yeah.
We made some. We had some pretty generous drinkers, right?
I
And
think the vendors did get too. A lot of them ran out of food, so that's a good thing. they prepared for what they thought, and then they actually, ran out. So I think they would be happy and come back. So
absolutely. So
I sure had a lot of fun.
I was gonna say I'm
Wait
curious
till
to
next
hear
year.
how everyone
Good.
felt. So
I loved how friendly everybody was. I parked in the parking lot. There's people telling me where to park, greeted you when you got out of the car. So I'm at, my daughter's like, "Well, everybody's so nice here." I'm like, sit in my office for a while.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. But she did say that, you know, how friendly everybody was. So, and the booths or whatever were great. You know, we left, but, you know, buying stuff, it was a great day.
Did you ever get your candle?
I got it. It's behind my desk.
Yes.
Hopefully my wife's not watching and you didn't just ruin her birthday present. But
That candle was for me. I didn't see anything for your wife, right? Dr. Felton, you were here for a minute, right?
Yes, it was.
What did you think?
I thought it was a lot of fun.
'Cause
Met
you-
a lot of different people.
You had a booth, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And the weather was perfect.
Oh my gosh, the weather.
That-
We lucked out, did we not? Oh
Yes.
my gosh. Were you were you able to get students from that, or
Just
or
some
is it just-
networking and connections.
all right, good
Yeah.
exposure at least. All right,
Yeah.
I know. Good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I know people were just handing Pam money. They were like, "We want to donate to the park." You're the treasurer. Okay, thanks.
Well, there were people, even when they were leaving, one gentleman came up to me and said, "I'm from Redford and I'm having the best time here. I can't wait till next year. I hope you guys do this again next year." And he was from Redford. I'm like, "What's Redford doing up here?" I didn't know.
Right.
But he had a good time, so.
What about you, Pam? You were one of our ticket
Yeah, it
takers
was a-
and
it was a,
volunteer extraordinaires.
Great time. I didn't see anybody who looked miserable, and we had so much positive social media feedback the next day. A lot of people signaled out Brittany.
Yes. Yeah.
That was cool to see. Yeah, I guess my only thought for next year is, I mean, the weather was fantastic, and I love this kind of time of year, but there's a chance that
Yeah.
we could, you know, we need to have a rain plan or an indoor alternative or just,
Oh yeah, we discussed that in,
Yeah.
in the
Okay.
debrief. I don't think we'll get that lucky 2 years in a row.
yeah.
Yes, because had we needed to move inside to the community room, that would have been a totally different vibe, right?
Yeah.
Like, so,
Oh yeah.
absolutely, we'll need to find a way to maybe redirect.
The only thing was when I left, I saw all the other food trucks. And if I had known there were other food trucks around the corner, I would have went there.
You didn't know
Okay.
they were there.
No, I didn't. Because remember where I was sitting at?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just saw the hot dog place.
Noted.
Oh, yeah,
you were
but-
close to the suite, so you're.
Yes.
That was the best place to be in my
Oh,
opinion.
Oh yeah, right.
Those caramel cheesecake little
Oh,
things
yeah.
were. Yeah.
Were they good?
Oh, they were very good.
Or like
Fast in our
weeks
house.
Excited is what I wrote. So, all right. So Dan, unfortunately, you weren't there.
was not
I
there.
mean, are you just like kicking yourself in the pants or what?
I saw the video.
It's not the same. That means you missed out on my epic dance floor dancing, right? Like you
Oh, I
missed
got
it.
Brittany's dance moves in the video.
No,
Trust me.
you missed the
Yeah.
real dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, Susie
Nobody
got the whole
was
crowd
dancing.
dancing.
Susie got the
So
party
she
started
she
for
took it
sure.
upon herself to
Yeah, the Elaine dance moves from Seinfeld.
I don't dance like Elaine, my friend. I am a
That's
trained
exactly how she-
dancer.
Somehow I just kind of figured that.
Right?
Same
I
energy.
killed it. I killed
She
it.
killed it for sure.
Ryan, what were your thoughts?
You know, I think reflecting on the atmosphere in Lathrop, what really needed is something to tie the community together and bring unity. And in that regard, I thought it was a fantastic success and exactly what we need, and we need a lot more of. I mean, I'm so happy that everybody was having such a good time, and myself included. And yeah, we got to do more.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Brian.
Absolutely.
Thanks for
How
coming.
did Julie feel? I know she and I are having fun.
The next day, she didn't feel very well.
Well, you know, so I think I'm really glad to hear get the feedback. Anything specific from your officers? I know you missed out too, unfortunately. I know Officer Steich was like, this was very, very well run.
They were just very complimentary, and everybody was in line and kept order and just had a good time. So all feedback I've received is all positive.
Excellent. So I mean, unless you tell us otherwise, we're going full steam ahead with round 2. So
Planning starts now.
planning might start in January. Might give ourselves like a holiday breather, but the ideas are already flowing.
Yeah.
So awesome. Any
Bigger's better.
questions? Right. Well, and I think my personal thought on I think better is better. I'm not entirely. I want to kind of be mindful of the physical constraints that we even have, right? But I'm just looking forward to planning again. I think this will be good. Did anybody have any questions about the budget numbers that I've very quickly mentioned? Or no?
I don't understand.
No, I mean just like any questions on the budget or the recap budget that I
No,
gave you guys?
pretty straightforward, yeah. That's good.
Cool.
I had a question on the DTE grant. Can
Yeah.
that just be spent on trees, or can it be on cleanup or anything, or
It
is
is-
it just trees?
Only trees, and it is only for the plants. It's not for labor, not for installation. It's not for watering afterwards or ongoing maintenance. It is literally only for the trees. So it doesn't
Just-
go very far, to be
Right.
honest with you.
I just know that DTA does have grants out there for the cleanup of, like their lines, if it's on city property or anything like that, or alleys. And I know that's something that's, if you drive through the alleys, which are technically city property, there's a lot of overgrowth
Right.
that are into lines and into the alley. that-
Well, and I certainly think so. Feel free to contact DTE about that one. I know one of the things that we've talked about. You're welcome. Let this be known. We have, one of the things that is a bit of a tangent and probably maybe better suited for the my own report, but we did learn this year that landscaping and maintenance of flower beds and trees and whatnot is far more than 2 staffers and a few young men volunteers can handle. I do intend to put out an RFP for landscaping services, and that'll probably be one of the things that we include in there is making sure that we have that whoever we may be able to may respond to this, that we can get them to at least go through once a month and maintain those, help us maintain that overgrowth in the alleys, because I know it gets to be
I mean, it'd probably be a
challenging.
once or twice a year type thing, that could, beginning of the season, end of the season type thing, but
right.
I know it's, in some areas, it's pretty bad.
I agree. So let's make sure when I do that RFP that you get some eyes on it too, and help me make sure that I don't miss anything. So, all right, you ready for Christmas decorations?
Bring 'em on. No, not personally.
Right. Me not. Me.
Comes
Neither.
with Mariah Carey.
Right.
Oh, she's here. She is ready.
Not yet. So and I'm glad you're all sitting because these are some pretty big quotes. Last year, for the last 2 years, the TDA and the city have split the cost of installing Christmas decorations here at City Hall, and then the DDA also wraps our light posts with live garland and bows. We don't have, despite the fact that they are light posts, we do not have electricity available to us to do any fun little decorating thing. Anyways, originally that cost was, I think when we first started doing it, it was $10,000 and we were splitting it 50-50. Last year it was about $13,000. We took on a little bit more. The city kept it at $5,000, and then this year we went with Christmas decor. They've been the ones. This is Mark Dutton Christmas decor. Their prices just keep going up. So it is the total of $14,242.82. That's what their quote would be. And again, that is the light posts, garland, bows. They light the front of City Hall, big wreath, and then they light the pavilion and the gazebo with lights and garland. And we had talked earlier this year about how it was definitely time to get some new quotes because that was starting to get pricey. So we got another quote for $25,000. Makes Christmas decor look still very palatable. I know Brittany reached out to a couple others. Did you get any other responses?
Still
Before today.
Still waiting to hear back from two more.
Well, I have a suggestion or two.
Yes,
Sure.
please.
Let's just think about what we need. Like, do we really need 34 poles wrapped? Not in addition to the 4 pillars in front. I think we should just concentrate on what does it look like from Southfield Road. Make our front entrance look nice. But I don't know that we need to put bows and garland, live garland on every light post, you know, in the city or even in our parking lot and things like that. I mean, how much do people use or appreciate or explore like Municipal Park at that time of year? Do we need? I mean, maybe we continue with the gazebo and the pavilion, but I'm not even sure if people use that. Do they?
No, not generally.
Yeah.
You know, the gazebo is typically where we've done the Christmas tree lighting. But then it's just kind of out
Sitting
there.
there.
It's not a Charlie Brown Christmas tree by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a little Charlie Brownish in its isolation, right?
Yeah.
It's back there. It gets lit and then kind of ho hum.
Yeah.
I know we've got at least one council member who every single year he's like, can we plant like a live Christmas tree? I mean, I don't know, and he wants it out front, right? Like I like the out front part. I even like the idea of a live Christmas tree, though I'm not entirely sure where exactly we would plant that. And I don't think we quite have the budget to get a very large tree. We'd be like starting real small.
I mean, look at the live garland costs. I mean, for that kind of money, we could easily buy 10 trees to plant, you know, to have permanent trees in the park.
Right.
So yeah, that would be my suggestion.
So what are we
Concentrate
doing?
on the front
Every
of it.
other light post?
We're doing every other light post. We were doing every other light post with the live garland and the bows, and they're not lit. And
Right.
I will say that's probably. I mean, I know. I had this conversation with Bobby. I don't know. I think it was probably in March, and she was like, "Let's find snowflakes." And like the light up ones.
Yeah.
So and I even asked at the I hit up every single booth at the Main Street conference since we have vendors there, right? And like, hey, what about LED snowflakes? Like, nope. You need to plug in for what we got. So
With the lack of sunlight at that time of year, the garland is lost.
right.
These poles, you don't see it.
They don't stand out enough for how much they. I mean, I understand that.
I mean, we do have our little holiday banners, right?
I was gonna say the
We
banners
do.
are up top.
Yeah.
and I think that's a good suggestion.
I mean, and I know we have. I mean, we kind of did. The city did like DIY decorations before we started going Christmas decor. We kind of got like spotlights, like green and red ones. I know that was kind of. There was divided opinions, I guess is a nice way to say it.
We had spotlights out front. Okay.
Like little ones. They're still
Yeah.
downstairs.
I mean, that could work if you could get real searchlight quality. I mean, really
Real ones.
industrial.
Right. Yes.
But you'd probably have to do rewiring to have the power to
right.
even run them.
So I think and I'll be honest, I haven't put a ton of thought into like the tree lighting. I know we're gonna do something. I guess it's gonna be up to Chief McKee to figure out what. But I'm thinking that maybe we move that out front, so at least the Christmas tree, the holiday tree is literally front and center, underneath the pavilion. And so, you know, to your point, let's decorate the front. That would allow us to maybe not have to decorate in the back and save some expenses there.
Right.
But really,
Are you suggesting we just decorate this area right here? To
Yeah.
get everything outside of it? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
just do City Hall.
Yeah.
And the,
Well, I
and the
mean,
banners.
you know, from street to street right here, and
Yeah.
whatever's included in that. If you can do garland on the poles here that work, yeah, I mean,
Okay. Just so the footprint between the footprint of City Hall
Yeah.
and our grounds, just
that's
decorate
what
the front.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
hearing. Yeah.
Yeah, just the view from Southfield Road.
I think
Okay.
that's a good
I can revisit a quote from. I mean, I got a quote for the frames for the banners. That I guess they had lights in those frames.
But that's a new hardware thing for the banners too, right?
True.
So
Unless they're
Yeah.
solar powered.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and I think they were.
Okay.
But no, I agree. The garland is expensive and it's not very visual, especially at night, which is the purpose of decorating, really, so that you can see it all day.
Yeah.
So,
So how would you like us to proceed?
let's see.
And is the city still in for $5,000?
I don't know yet.
When are you gonna know?
Probably November 20th.
City manager.
I mean, we do need to
As
make
of today, Monday starts Scott as
We'll
interim
get
city
to that
administrator.
part. I'm not there yet.
That was a quick pass. All right.
all right.
Right? I mean, I think what we're gonna need to do is we'll need to circle back to each of the companies that we've reached out to for decorations and ask for a revised quote. And just have them do
Well, don't. I
front
mean,
of City Hall.
not that it's a race, but Michigan First decorations are already up. So
Thanks a lot.
Oh, really?
they're
Okay.
just waiting to be
Do they take them
turned
down?
down.
Thank you
They
for
do
that.
take them down. Yeah,
You said do that right.
they're already up. So,
You just keep them up.
Just
all
wait.
year.
Well, and
Boys
this
to
and
go
the guy from Christmas Decor was like, the sooner the. I mean, he sent this to me
Yeah.
like probably the end of September.
He said the exact same thing from the other company.
I'm wondering if
he
we shouldn't
encouraged us
just
to
authorize an
respond
amount.
quickly.
I'm wondering if we should just authorize an amount up to and say, hey, get the quote down to this. And I mean, if you
And
take
we'll
out
approve it, yeah.
30 of the 37 poles, unless I'm doing my math wrong, you're cutting about $8,000 out of that right there.
Right. All right. So front of City Hall.
It's $9.25 a pole.
Wrap the light poles.
Is that what that says? It can't be right. though.
Yeah, some
That
of it
cannot
was.
be right.
Yeah. Oh, that's a unit quantity, I guess. 925 pieces of garland, maybe. So what did we spend last year?
We spent about $13,500 total. That was the total
So
bill.
I think we should expect to get it back to like 10, I would imagine.
Yeah, I agree. That seems
Like a
plenty.
max of 10, and you guys can perform even better and get it lower than that. So, but I would think, in the interest of time, it's almost Thanksgiving.
Okay.
That make sense? Do we need a motion to do that?
Yes, please.
All right, motion to authorize DDA manager to spend up to $10,000 for revised quote on Christmas decorations.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And let's the minutes show that we are very appreciative of the city considering splitting that with us.
And we'll see.
Thank you.
All right.
Don't let him get the budget.
All right. Excellent. And thank you. All right. Next up, we have office needs. Brittany has office needs. Her computer, well, she can't charge it and use it at the same time because the AC jack is jacked. It is regularly shutting down. Just, we're starting to get the black screens of death. We do have this budgeted, and but we still need the official authorization. I included.
What did we budget?
Huh?
How much do we budget?
We budgeted $5,000 for new computers for both myself and Brittany. My computer is doing just fine for now. I'm not quite there.
And how much is the laptop that you found on Amazon?
She would like to get. It's $1,219. It's the first one on this list.
Is that the one that the IT
Oh, here it is, right
team
here.
suggested?
The one that they suggested is very similar. It's just 8 gigs. The one that I suggested has more, just because I do a lot of content creating and we have a ton of things on it. And it causes it to move slow if there's only 8 gigs available. So that's the only difference.
So that's. But otherwise, I mean, the other two on here are the home edition, and that's no bueno for us. So.
Motion to approve the purchase of the indicated laptop for roughly $1,300 with that.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just have a question. Do you do a depreciation of all your equipment that you have?
Pam?
We have to,
Mhm.
yes,
Yep.
Okay.
it's part of the audit.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Motion carries.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you.
Is there public comment?
Well, not quite public comment, but I probably should have had this in my thing too. So today is Pam's last day in the office for approximately 4 to 6 weeks. She's going on medical. And then she's also retiring at the end of
Wow.
December. So
She looks very distraught for the record.
I know. I know.
Which I'm trying to
I-
get done ahead of time before I go off. So I'm not leaving everybody hanging.
you know. So, because she's not leaving us hanging, that also means that Chief Scott McKee is our temporary interim city administrator, and he is going to be rocking that hat for the whole duration of Pam being gone.
4 to 6
So,
weeks.
4 to 6
I thought you were
weeks.
about to say he's going to be our party planner for Pam's send-off.
That is, no comment on Pam's party. Just saying. But get on it, Chief.
I can say, Pam, when I got on the DDA, I didn't believe I would outlast you. So I think it's time for both of us to go.
Well, I've been
You had
here
me
23
notice
years.
Yeah, well,
Actually, it will be
congratulations,
23 years on Monday,
Wow.
the 23rd.
Congratulations.
Thanks. So,
Thank you so much.
Thank you for everything.
Is there a search for both positions currently launched?
yes, we have done interviews on the treasurer's position already, so there's just going to probably be an offer made. I'd like to do it today if I could, but I might have to do it while I'm at home on recuperation, so. And the city manager's position, they are interviewing on the 27th for three candidates that were brought to them that meet all the qualifications that the MML, that the city council has asked for. They meet all the qualifications, so they have 3 candidates to interview on the.
3 qualified candidates.
They had 10 come in,
Yeah.
10 applications come in, and after the interviews from the MML person, Joyce Parker, plus the, of her things, making sure they had what the city council has wanted in their manager, there's 3 people that they are bringing in for interviews, so,
Great.
but we'll see.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Who is the